Imagine walking into your local supermarket. You grab a shopping cart, a loaf of bread, some fruit, a carton of milk, a few snacks, maybe a bottle of juice. You reach the checkout. The cashier smiles and says, "That'll be $100. You tap your card. The payment goes through. The receipt prints. Your shopping is finished. Simple. Or at least, it seems simple. Because the moment you paid that $100, something much bigger happened. Most people imagine the supermarket just made $100. After all, you gave them the money, so that must be their profit, right? Not even close. That $100 immediately begins traveling in different directions, long before it could ever become profit. The interesting question isn't, why did my groceries cost $100? The more interesting question is, where did that $100 actually go? Let's imagine your $100 as a single bill. It's sitting in the supermarket's register. Now imagine following that bill as it moves through the business. The first surprise is this. Most of the products you bought weren't created by the supermarket. The supermarket didn't grow the tomatoes. It didn't bake the bread. It didn't produce the milk. It didn't make the cereal. It didn't bottle the juice. Those products came from hundreds of different suppliers, farmers, food manufacturers, beverage companies, bakeries, packaging businesses, cleaning product companies, personal care brands. When you walk through a supermarket, you're not looking at one business. You're looking at thousands of businesses sharing one building. Long before you entered the store, the supermarket had already purchased most of those products, which means your $100 often helps replenish inventory that has already been sold. The money doesn't simply stay in the register. A large portion eventually flows back to suppliers so shelves can be filled again. Because empty shelves don't generate future sales. But that's only the beginning. Think about how those groceries arrived at the supermarket. They didn't magically appear overnight. Fresh vegetables traveled from farms. Packaged foods came from factories. Frozen products passed through refrigerated warehouses. Everything was loaded onto trucks, moved across highways, delivered to distribution centers, sorted, stored, loaded again, finally arriving at your local store. Every step required people, vehicles, fuel, buildings, equipment, time. Moving food is a business all by itself. By the time your groceries reach the shelf, they've already completed a long and expensive journey, and every journey adds cost. Now look around the supermarket itself. Notice something most shoppers rarely think about. The lights, the air conditioning, the refrigerators, the freezers, the chilled drink cabinets, the frozen food section. These machines don't wait for customers to arrive. They're running all day, all night, every day of the year. Even while you're sleeping, the supermarket is paying to keep food fresh. Electricity doesn't stop simply because nobody is shopping. Imagine the frozen food losing power for several hours. Entire sections of inventory could be lost. Keeping food cold isn't just convenient, it's essential, and it costs money every single hour. Now think about the people who make your shopping experience possible. The cashier who scanned your groceries, the employee stocking shelves, the cleaner keeping the floors safe, the bakery staff preparing fresh bread, the warehouse workers receiving deliveries, the security personnel, the supervisors, the department managers, customer service, maintenance teams. Behind every shopping cart is a surprisingly large workforce. And salaries don't disappear just because sales are slow on a particular day. The supermarket must continue operating, because tomorrow, customers will return expecting full shelves and fast service. Then there's the building itself. This isn't simply a place to sell groceries, it's an enormous operating asset. The land, the parking lot, the roof, the shelves, shopping carts, automatic doors, checkout machines, storage rooms, cooling equipment, security cameras, signs, lighting. Everything must be maintained. Some supermarkets rent their buildings, others own them. Either way, operating a large retail space is expensive. Even before the first customer arrives, but supermarkets face another challenge that's easy to overlook. Not everything gets sold. Walk into the produce section. The fruit looks perfect. The vegetables look fresh. The bread smells new. But time is working against every one of those products. Milk expires. Bread becomes stale. Fruit bruises. Vegetables spoil. Prepared meals reach their expiration date. Some products are discounted. Others are thrown away completely. Every unsold product represents money that won't come back. Imagine buying 100 bananas. If only 80 are sold before they spoil, the remaining 20 become losses. The supermarket still paid for them, but no customer ever reimbursed that cost. Waste is part of the business. Managing waste is part of the business. Reducing waste is part of the business. Now think about how you actually paid. Maybe you used a debit card. Maybe a credit card. Maybe a mobile wallet. It felt instant. But processing that payment isn't free. Banks, payment networks, technology providers, security systems, all help make that transaction possible. Even receiving your money has a cost. It's another small expense added to thousands of others. At this point, something becomes clear. Your $100 isn't sitting in one place. It's flowing through an entire ecosystem: suppliers, transportation, warehouses, electricity, employees, building costs, equipment, technology, payment processing, waste, insurance, maintenance. Each takes a share before profit is even considered. And that's why one of the biggest misconceptions about supermarkets is also one of the easiest to make. People see crowded stores, long checkout lines, shopping carts everywhere, and assume supermarkets must be making enormous profits. But high sales and high profit are not the same thing. Revenue tells you how much money comes into a business. It doesn't tell you how much remains after everything required to operate that business has been paid for. A supermarket can sell millions of dollars worth of groceries, while keeping only a relatively small percentage after covering its operating costs. The business depends on selling enormous volumes efficiently, not on making huge profits from every individual purchase. So let's return to the beginning. You walked into a supermarket. You spent $100. At first, it looked like one simple transaction. Now it looks very different. That $100 helped restock shelves. It helped move food across supply chains. It helped keep refrigerators running. It helped pay employees. It helped maintain the building. It helped absorb the cost of products that never sold. It helped process your payment. And only after supporting that entire system could any profit remain. So perhaps the more interesting question isn't, why did my groceries cost $100? It's, where did that $100 actually go? And once you begin asking that question, you'll never look at an ordinary shopping receipt the same way again. Because every purchase hides an economic story. And supermarkets are only one example. Next time, we'll follow another everyday purchase. Imagine spending just $5 on a cup of coffee. It seems simple, but behind that single cup is a global supply chain stretching across farms, shipping routes, roasting facilities, cafes, and much more. So, where does that $5